Ah yes, it is I, the clickbait king, who has tricked you into watching an actually useful video. Jokes aside though, we are going to be going over not just one, but 3 different websites that are going to certainly save you some time and money the next time you shop online, and this is going to be especially useful if you're watching this during the holiday season. Now, despite the title of this video, if you didn't already know about these websites, I'm not going to blame you or call you stupid for not using them, obviously. But if after this video you still don't use them, well then that's your fault. And I will point out, by the way, this is not a sponsored video in any way. So anyway, these 3 websites are ReviewMeta, FakeSpot, and CamelCamel. The first 2 have to do with analyzing Amazon reviews and determining whether or not they're reliable, so you can actually trust the rating or not, or maybe it has a lot of fake reviews, that sort of thing. And the third website, CamelCamel, I have talked about this in the past, is for analyzing the price history of products and seeing whether or not maybe despite a product being on sale, like best sale ever, maybe the price was actually lower at a previous date. So you can see that. So first of all, let's go over the review analysis websites. How they work in general is they'll look at the reviews and look at things like the age of the accounts that made them, how many reviews this reviewer has left, the wording used, that sort of thing. And you could probably use common sense on when to decide to actually use these sites. You don't have to look at every single product you're going to buy. For example, if it's a big name brand, they're probably not going to be paying for fake reviews on Amazon. They just don't care. But if it is like a very generic product, you know, the kind that people buy from China and they rebrand it as a million different things, you're not really sure if it's reliable. Or maybe it's an especially expensive item or an item that seems like it might be prone to not working well. It's just something that breaks a lot. So you want to be sure that this particular listing has actual real reviews of people saying it works right. But as you'll see, you definitely want to take these with a big grain of salt because even these 2 that I'm going to be talking about don't necessarily agree. So we'll go over that. So the first we can go over is ReviewMeta. This is my favorite of the 2 because I think they go a little bit more in depth and the ratings make a little bit more sense to me. They're a bit more open about how they actually rate them. And how it works is really simple. You can see they simply remove potentially unnatural reviews and just give an adjusted rating. But if you scroll down, you'll actually see what they're calling a report card for more details and on some of the specific criteria they went into that are either pass, warn, or fail. So for example, you can see things like how many suspicious reviewers there were, like brand repeats. If someone in a review keeps mentioning the name of the brand, that's kind of odd. Maybe they were paid to say it. And also phrase repetition. For example, if there's a lot of reviews that all say the same obscure phrase, then that could suggest that they're all from some review bot farm that was just paid to leave very similar reviews, just slightly reworded, and then you can kind of throw all those out because they might not be real. And also, interestingly, it'll show you what are called take-back reviewers. So those are people who have had reviews deleted in the past, so they might not be the most reliable reviewers. And also interesting is you can actually see the difference in average rating between reviews that were thrown out and ones that were passed. So if there's a huge difference in those, you know that they probably were not the best. Also, there are browser extensions available for this, so no matter what you're using, it basically supports Chrome, Firefox, Safari, even Microsoft Edge. So no matter what browser you're using, you can have this one. All right, now the next website is called FakeSpot, and it also reviews Amazon reviews. And this is my lesser favorite of the 2. I don't think it's as reliable, but it does have one big advantage in that it doesn't just support Amazon reviews, but also other sites like Best Buy, Walmart, Steam, even like Yelp reviews, so it can do a lot. And you'll see the main thing about this site is instead of giving just an adjusted review, which it does that, but the main thing it'll give is a review grade. And I actually don't really like this grade lettering system. It does seem a bit arbitrary, and one important thing to note is that this is not grading the product itself, just the quality of the reviews. So you could have a product that is like really crappy, has terrible reviews, like 1-star rating, but it might have an A rating, and that just means that the reviews are reliable, not the product itself. So you might be kind of confused by that. And one really good example of this is this random 1 terabyte thumb drive on Amazon for like $20. These are scams through and through. You see these all over the place where they basically fake the capacity of the thumb drive. And obviously this has a terrible review rating. Everyone's saying this is a scam. It's like 2.5 stars. But then it also has an A rating, which just means, yeah, all the people saying it's crap are reliable. But if you don't know that, you go on and you're like, oh, well, this must be actually a good product even though the rating sucks. No, it's the exact opposite. So anyway, instead of looking at the actual letter grade, it does actually show the adjusted rating, which you can look at, similar to Review Meta. And also, if you scroll down, it will show more details about the reliability of the reviews. So for example, it'll show things like how suspiciously positive the reviews are, which I mean could just mean that a lot of people really like the product. And also it'll show you what percentage are reliable, which I think is probably the main number you want to look at. And also another thing to point out is it does seem like this site is really heavy-handed and very strict with how they letter grade their reviews anyway. So there might be a product that the adjusted review is basically exactly the same as the regular review rating, but it'll have like an F letter grade. So I don't know, I would, again, not even look at the letter grade rating and just kind of look at the details in combination with the Review Meta rating. And also, FakeSpot does have a Chrome extension, but again, I would just probably disable the thing where it shows the letter grade, because to me, that's personally useless, but it's up to you. And obviously, you want to take both of these sites with a big grain of salt. They may completely disagree because they use different algorithms to determine what's reliable and what's not. So before we get to the final website, we can quickly go over an example of something I actually bought, and I looked up the ratings here. So this is just some random pack of short USB cables, and I thought this was a good example because it's a very generic product. It's extremely cheap, and I don't know, sellers might have trouble distinguishing from other sellers, so they might be more prone or tempted to leave fake reviews. It does have like 1,000 reviews, so that's probably less likely, but we can still look at like Review Meta. It goes from an adjusted rating of 4.4 down to 4.3, so that's pretty much the same. It says it removed 9% of potentially unnatural reviews. That again doesn't mean that 10% of the reviews are fake. It just means that maybe a couple of them are fake, or just the people who leave those reviews tend to just leave crappy reviews. And down in the report card, there's actually kind of a mixed bag here. So it'll say like word count comparison, phrase repetition, and overlapping review history are fail. And then like the warning, you have deleted reviews, suspicious reviews, reviewer participation, that sort of thing. But again, even these you have to take with a grain of salt, because looking at like phrase repetition, which was a fail, really there's only 20 of each out of 1,000 reviews. That's not too bad, and they're kind of generic phrases like exactly what I needed. I don't know, I've probably left a review saying that, and there's only 20 of them. USB charging station, I mean, this is probably a product where you would be using that. So again, I wouldn't even think that's too suspicious, even though the algorithm says it's a fail. So really, you still have to do some due diligence. Again, this is probably going to be for stuff that, you know, you really want to know whether you're buying a decent product or not. You're willing to spend a bit extra time analyzing it. And then funny enough, if you look at the FakeSpot rating, it'll actually give it an F, and it says insufficient reliable reviews, which I think is kind of stupid. There's 1,000 reviews. Really, you can't get enough out of that one. So again, this website I would kind of use as a backup or on a site that maybe, I don't know, Review Meta doesn't support, but you can still look at both of them and kind of get an idea. All right, now the final website is called CamelCamel. There is also a Chrome extension for this and Firefox extension as well. And this is just for Amazon prices. So you can literally see a graph of the price of a certain product over time, and this actually does differentiate between Amazon prices, third-party prices, used prices, so you can see exactly. And I find this pretty obviously useful because, you know, on Amazon, literally everything is shown as having a discount, so you can't really trust it. And even like on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, these special deal days, you know, I've looked at products and seen, wow, this is not even the cheapest it's ever been. What the heck? So you might want to think twice about jumping on a supposed deal when it's not even that great of a deal. This one's pretty self-explanatory. You can probably see exactly how it works just from looking at it here, so I probably don't have to go too much in detail about it, but it is really useful, and I use it all the time. So anyway, that's it, but if you guys want to keep watching, another video I made recently, which I recommend, is talking about 12 iOS and iPhone settings that you should probably change now. One of my most popular videos was talking about 13 iOS settings to change, so this is kind of like a part 2. So you can just click on that, and it'll pop up right there. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.